Just 1 sec. Oh, it's not working. Okay, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. So we got a special episode today. I got Matthew joining me, and also we got Rob Floyd joining us as well. He'll be on in just a second. Let's get the show started.
What if you could revisit brand new worlds right here from your headphones, where anything is possible? Same shows, different perspectives. We've found the gateway.
Gliding through dimensions. Hey, Matthew. Matthew's also joining us.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? So we got a special episode today. I was able to get Rob Floyd to join us for a special interview.
Yay.
Yay! I'll bring him up in just a second. If you guys don't know, obviously Rob Floyd is from season 5 of Sliders, played Mallory. But here's a little look about what he's been up to.
Together, we're gonna take a journey. Smile. There you go. This is it.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's cool. Create an experience.
This is delicious.
You could definitely use this for any holiday party. An adventure in a glass. You gotta spank them in. Yeah.
You got back in there, yeah.
You got back in there. I love it. We're gonna taste the impossible. Go from a home bartender to a rock star mixologist. When you're making a great cocktail, it's almost like you're dancing corner to corner. Cheers, everybody, and sip boldly.
I suddenly want a cocktail.
Yeah.
Right.
I could really use a cocktail right now.
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
I'm so happy to be here with y'all. This is awesome. Anytime I can be with the Sliders family is just incredible. It's so sacred, so special. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining us.
So grateful for having you here. Yeah.
This is their first big interview, so they're very nervous. Just
I
wanting to get
know.
No, I mean, it's just such a great family, and it's so incredible. So I travel the world constantly, and in America now, I'm much more known as a mixologist, and for the TV show I've been on for 10 years now, Bar Rescue, where I was in developing a new mechanical cocktail machine in Germany.
Oh,
and
nice.
Everybody was nervous around me. And at the end of the day, all these scientists, they're in the like 40s and early 50s. Like, can we get a picture? And I'm thinking, sure. Like, we love sliders. There is such a big and crazy following for sliders in Europe still. It's mad, and people still know you and they love it. And so for me, sliders has always been this global phenomenon, and it's all because of the people that watch it and love it, whether they dislike this or that or hate it, they're passionate about it. And that's why it's just been such a special and sacred part of my life.
well, you've been in Hollywood for quite some time now. Did you know Sliders before you went on to the show, or?
I knew of it. I knew it was a great success. Jerry is an amazing actor. Actually, he and I we met years earlier doing a Clearasil commercial together.
Really?
So funny, yeah. But I'd finished school at the Royal Academy in London, and he and then we were working together there and in New York, and he's just like the nicest, smartest, fun guy to be around, and he was just incredible. And then I stayed in New York, and he kept working and just really built Sliders into what it is. I was just really lucky to do the last year. It was, but it was definitely, his show, and the writing team behind it was just genius. And, to be a part of it, just even for a little bit, is just a really incredible time.
Did you find it kind of hard? Because like you said, there was a lot of, it had its history. There was like a good amount of fan base to it. Was it hard kind of stepping into that role, or?
Well, I think it was challenging, and it's a great question, is because the network wasn't sure what to do. So they knew they needed one more season to be able to put it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see it at all today. They needed to get to, I think,
Oh,
80.
really?
Yeah. So they had to have season 5. They had the money to have seasons 5. I don't know anything about what happened with Jerry in the show or the network or any of that. Jerry's very successful and a really smart guy. So whatever falling out he wasn't coming back. And so they were not going to be able to put it into reruns. So really the idea is if they could just get another 17 to 20 episodes, they could put it on and then get the reruns and get those deals where it could just live in,
Like
forever.
syndication, yeah.
Yeah, and then that syndication, and that syndication is huge for the Sliders family because, when I'm in Europe or when I'm in Australia or something, people know Sliders, and they know it because it plays there, because their territories can buy full seasons of it, and the 5 seasons in syndication, they can then watch it, and you get this huge fan base from it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I had always thought that it was just like if once a TV show is kind of like over, since the studio owns it, they just like keep running it no matter what, like just to fill any kind of like time slots. I imagined when I was younger.
Yeah.
I think, and again, I don't know at all, but it's they need to get to a certain level or number to get that syndication, and maybe that was back in 2000. But they were 99, but it was like they have to get to a certain level for it. And so they needed it. And then when Jerry wasn't going to come back and all, Tembi and I were really lucky and blessed to come aboard and join the team to get us to that level. There was, talk about going for the next season, and the ratings were great. They were shocked. They were still as good as they were the year before, but they spent all the money on Farscape. And so there was absolutely no money for Sliders, none.
Damn you, Farscape.
And,
I know.
And Diller and everybody had put it that Sliders didn't want to come back and all of that, but that wasn't true at all. I mean, that crew was amazing. The writing team was fantastic, and just the fan base was amazing. So it was sad. I was very heartbroken when they didn't bring it back.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I think the number of episodes required for syndication now is different than it used to be. I don't know if it's increased or decreased, but that's changed a lot. The landscape has changed as far as syndication in the last 2 decades.
Brilliant point, because TV's changed so much in that time.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
Did you want to go with your
So what was like the audition process like?
The audition process was intense. It was like 4 or 5 auditions with a screen test at Universal at the end. My hair is not dark, as you can see. It's pretty blonde.
Yeah.
So they had, honestly, and I love them, and they were great. But they're like, okay, would you mind if we dye your hair dark? And I've got kids, so I'm like, yeah, sure.
I'll do whatever.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, dye it dark. And then like, you look too much like Jerry. It looks like a knockoff. Can we cut your hair short? I'm like, sure. And
that's not what they were going for. I don't understand.
I know. And then it's like, okay, you're really a street guy and all that. And so then my first like 5-6 episodes, I'm wearing like shirts tucked in with a belt, and I'm like, it doesn't feel very street. But,
you're in like 3-piece suits. They're like, you're a street guy.
It was just they were finding their way, and they were as writers and writing team, and Jerry was the show for so long that it was now a true ensemble. Clavant, wow, what a massive genius talent.
I know.
He seems like a
Kari Moore. I always thought she would have been a brilliant director. She really understood the science and the mechanics of TV. I thought I was really impressed. And Tembi was just, besides for super talented, she was just an absolute wonderful, wonderful person to be around. It was just it was a really great crew and great cast, and filming in LA was great. But the back to it is the audition part was really fun. The thing is I still remember and I never do this. Like, I did daytime for a long time. Like, I was a bad guy on daytime TV, and I don't remember even doing it. But I still remember things like the dimensional compression that could lead to a recombinant universe and cause some form of elemental collapse on a cosmic scale. For one thing, you'd have to account for almost an allocation of an infinitesimal amount of mass. That was like, I mean, it was like,
it's burned in.
Still here. I don't know why. I mean, I can't remember like what I did last week, but it's like, yeah. So the writing, and again, Bill Dial and Chris Black and Peckinpah, they were just awesome.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, when I first saw it, right, I remember not really understanding what had happened to the character of Jerry, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the younger side, so I was just kind of like, I just knew that there was like a kind of like a newer person on. When you like, did you kind of know what was the story?
I wasn't. Yeah, no, I wasn't sure when they did like the Unstuck Man and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if they were going to bring him back next season. I mean, maybe he wanted a different deal, and that's why I always said he's still here. You know what I mean? And then I'm not sure, and then I'd say he's gone. But I tried to speak in his cadence whenever I would say those things, because he has a very specific cadence in the way he delivered things. So, they were. My thought was I was definitely going to do the season, and then there's a good shot that Jerry's going to come back and be the executive producer, director, and do the show himself. I mean, there was just so many things. The thing is, they still had the numbers. They still had the viewers. They still had the fans. They could have done so much with it. I thought there should have been a great movie with it. And now it's like some of the stuff they had written about, like nanotechnology and all of that. You're like, wow. That is just, but sci-fi is like that. People never forget. They're way far advanced thinkers. And it was just really exceptional to be a part of it. I mean, my God, even today, I look back at some of those old scripts and I'm like, we talked about that. The writers talked about that 20 years ago, 25 years ago, excuse me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's like a common with sci-fi, right? Where it's just like
ahead of the time.
Yeah, it's always ahead of the time. But it's almost like life imitates art at that point, where like then you start to see, things coming into play there. But it does, like, you have to do a lot of imagination kind of goes into it because it's sci-fi. Like, did you find it kind of hard to like wrap your head around certain themes, or?
It was hard to wrap around certain themes. However, it was, the directors that they had were really good, so that they really helped you through it, because so much was on green screen, or we'd shoot and we'd be talking to the other actor, but they're really not there today and stuff, or they're at a different portion, because we were trying to finish everything, I think an episode in 5 days or something, 4 or 5 days, pretty crazy. So, but it was great directors that they brought in, and again, just enormous amount of talent around you that you could trust them, that they would help you. And then you kind of have to let it go, because if they want to make it like this and then build it a certain way, you just have to say at the end of the day, you can only do a certain amount, and you have to trust their vision. And I just think as a whole for the series, we're still talking about it now, and that's pretty spectacular.
Yeah. How does it feel like to be a part of something that's just like, it's still remembered, it's still kind of beloved, it's still,
I love it. I still, so right now is like, I have partnerships with Matthew McConaughey, Liev Schreiber, Snoop Dogg, Cardi B, and
those are good, yeah.
Jason Momoa. I was working with him in London last week. So it's like, but sometimes like we'll be talking, and now I deal in beverage, but I still deal in TV.
Yeah.
So, I bring in crews, we film it, and I lean back on so much of that Sliders stuff. And we'll be sitting there talking, and I'll talk to those guys about what a great series that was, thinking that, wouldn't it be awesome if Matthew played the lead in Sliders, the movie? Or would it be, just for me, just that it would still live on,
We got 12 hours left.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, so many of, I just think there's so many great stories for it.
I know. And it really, I mean, it can go, it's not like, like a consecutive show where you have to have like everything, this continuity. You can kind of like play
Right.
around with it. Yeah.
It's so
Would you,
non-linear that if you just miss this episode, that it's okay. You see the other one, and it's just really,
Yeah.
you're right on the money there.
I had a quick question about dealing with a sci-fi show. As an actor, I know when you're filming, sometimes ideas come up from time to time. But when you're dealing with those sort of episodes where it's a very specific scientific thing, are they sort of limiting on what the actor's input is on that, or were they open to it?
They were open to it. And I think sometimes, like with the dialogue that I would have, I really, I can sell it, but I had no idea what in God's name it could mean. You know what I mean? So they were really helpful in making it work. You know what I mean? And in showing like how this could work in this scene so that you as an actor can really make it believable and try to do justice to the characters as they've written it.
It goes back to that famous Harrison Ford quote filming Star Wars, and he said, "Oh, you can write this shit, but you can't say it."
That's great. That's so great. I haven't heard
Rob
that.
just
That's
proved
awesome.
that he can say it.
That's true. You just recited the.
I know.
I've been, again, it's like, I left acting when I became a single dad. I was working with James Cameron. I quit the show, and but I wanted to, raise my kids. And Carol O'Connor's son had just committed suicide, Archie Bunker, and I was in Vancouver filming Dark Angel, and I just sat there in the dark that night because, with James, we were filming like 16-hour days, and now I was raising 2 little boys. And I was never there. And they were really upset when I would leave. And I'd only just started my first episode. And I made that decision then that it was like, all right, I'm going to go in. And I just said, I'm going to just do the one show here. And then that's it.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I didn't know what to do when I went home. So I went and started bartending again. Well, I was going to figure it out. And I never thought that now I've been on a TV show 10 years for bartending and, and doing this stuff around the world.
Traveling all around the world.
I know.
It's so funny. It's really so funny. So, but I think what happens is you realize your core. And at my core, I believe I'm a storyteller. And whether it's sci-fi or even culinary, we all want to sit there and enjoy, just take us away, just have some fun with it.
Yeah,
And
that's
for
true.
me, yeah, and I love listening and hearing everyone else's stories too. On Rescue, I do a lot of yelling, which isn't really my nature most of the time. But I just love talking to people, and I love trying to make them happy.
I know you had a question about mixology.
Oh,
like about crafting drinks.
Oh, yeah. How do you come up with the drinks? Like all the different cocktails?
Yeah. So I was really lucky and blessed to work with some of the best chefs in the world. So and they were so hard to work with. Jose Andres, it was one of the most amazing men in the world. I worked with him. I ran his places. He taught me molecular gastronomy and organic chemistry in culinary.
Incredible
and
chef.
He was so hard on me, and he would spit out drinks and he would yell and he would throw stuff. But honestly, if you just don't care and you just sit there and go, yeah, chef. And same thing with Gordon Ramsay, you get their respect, and then they just start to teach you, because guys like that, if they know you're in it to win it, they'll give you all the keys. And so for me, working with just geniuses and then having a passion to surprise people. And as I train about 7,000 bartenders now, and I train them in what I call a reaction technique. And this is sort of a sliders thing, is that if somebody doesn't react off the cocktail, that if they don't go, wow, and they don't take a picture of it and they don't want to share it with other people, you've lost them forever. You have to make that an indelible moment of art. It's edible or drinkable. And so it has to be wow. It has to be jumping through, the portal. It has to be all of that in that one moment where you lose them. And you could have the greatest drink in the world, but if they just take a sip, they could just be anywhere. So, having that moment and having that excitement. And then also, it's very funny, but I helped design and build this thing that I launched with Cardi B called Whip Shots, alcohol whipped cream.
I was looking for some earlier today.
Oh, it's so fun. It's hysterical.
I
And
use it
she's
for when I
awesome.
do like my boozy hot chocolates. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's so. And she's really so smart when it comes to marketing. Hysterical and
Oh,
funny
yeah.
to work with.
Oh
But
yeah, I mean,
Lordy,
you
the
could tell,
first time we launched, we had a billion views, impressions, 1 billion impressions. So it was like in
Wow.
24 hours, you're like, there's only, and she spends time and she dials it all in because it was insane. She was so on. But for me with my teams, I teach my teams to have people drink less so they can drink more. So in other words, have them enjoy 1, 2, maybe a third cocktail, but slow them down, get them some food, some water, because the better they feel, the more they can't wait to come back. It's really, you're sharing that time. And then Yale did this great study called a Rule of 17 that says people laugh and smile about 17 times a day, but in a great bar, they do it 17 times an hour. That's why we go to the great bar. And so
Yeah.
they tell my teams, I'm like, it's all about the story. And when you're telling that, listen to their story, hear where they're coming from, be excited about it. And so, that's why, the cocktail for me is always the exclamation point to the story.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, speaking of, we're trying the sliders cocktail that you created.
Yeah,
Like,
we got it
love
right
it.
here.
we have it over. Do you want to show it on the camera real quick?
Got it right here.
Oh, I love it. We got to make some more. I have a book coming out. Called Sip at Sea in May. I think the second week of May, but I'll let y'all know.
Yeah, definitely.
It is. You'll see me and McConaughey making cocktails because I also QR coded the whole thing. In fact, this is the first place I've talked about it.
Oh, wow.
QR coded the whole
Exclusive.
thing. So it's you can put it pop up on your phone. You can watch us make, and so there's like it's a 280 page book. It's a small one though, so it's easy to take around because if you want to go on a vacation, you're not going to take a big book. So it's a little
that's
one.
true.
Yeah. And I want you to be able to have the best time. And there's great drinks. There's easy to make drinks. There's a lot of 0 proof drinks because even though I'm in the alcohol world, I still try to be, a light drinker so I can drink a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm actually a lightweight when it comes to alcohol, but Eric
Are
keeps
you?
giving me gin and tonic
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, I always give him gin and tonic stuff.
So I was like, I'm sure Rob has a great gin and tonic. So and of course I saw the video on the ultimate gin and tonic. So
yeah,
I went and bought this stuff. I'm gonna try it tonight.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. That is so cool. I love when we can become our own favorite chef, our own favorite mixologist, and do something and own it. And then it puts a smile on our face. And for me, that's sliders. That's like being able to like jump on with y'all and have fun. And I love blowing it up on my channels on Instagram and stuff, because that's kind of where I am more. But it's important to me that people get exposed to it.
I know. I think before we started the podcast, I had always kind of thought it was just, I don't know, maybe like a forgotten show because they don't really like Star Wars. Of course, you see like a new iteration of it every so often, or but now that we've been doing the podcast and my husband's introduced me to like all the Discord stuff and all the like fan pages, I was like,
there's a lot of people still interested in it out there. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, nice. Cause it was one of like the shows I really liked growing up too.
Yeah.
But
it's always great running into a sliders fan in the wild.
Yeah.
Out of the blue. Because they're everywhere, but it's sort of a hidden thing.
It's so funny and it's so true though. But they're so smart and passionate, and it's just really, really cool. Really
Do you
cool.
have like when the show first started coming out, when your season first started coming out, do you have any stories like where fans kind of like, were they like accepting of you? Were they kind of like a little like weird?
Well,
like
it was really anticlimactic to a way, because when we launched it, they didn't put any marketing behind it, because they were like, you know what, we're just going to finish this out. So they didn't do anything for it. And they were like, you know what, the show, here it is. And they just rolled it out.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
awful.
There was nothing out there in the press. There was nothing. So even like my agent at the time was really distraught about that. And for me, it was like, we still had the exact same viewer numbers that they had the season before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was without anything out there, without doing any of the shows or talking about it. And it was such a miss. And so they launched it, and then on like the sixth or whatever episode that was out there, they told us we weren't coming back. And it was just the most weird thing ever, because I would have fought tooth and nail for the show. I loved it. And I would have fought for it even if Jerry was coming back to take it over.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
believe
really?
in yeah, well, because for me, it's like something that we all win in the end. If he comes back over, then it's still great.
True.
It's still fantastic, and it can go through different iterations. And it's not like he's going to do it forever. Who knows what happens in the future? So, I just really believed in the brand and what they did, and the acting was so good for the first several years, and the writing was so good, and the stories, and battling the Cro-Mags and all of that. So.
I was
I
just
just,
watching that episode, by the way.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was,
The,
there's so much there. There's so much gold to mine, and really, Chris Black and Peckinpah and Bill Dial, God rest his soul, who's just such a good guy. But they had more, scripts written and ready to go.
Oh
So I was
man.
just hoping, so that was sad. And then, and then some people were, upset with me and all that, but there's nothing I can do. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
worked the best I could. I loved the show. And I liked the people even when they didn't like me, because they were passionate about the show. And so I
Yeah.
felt like we were all doing it. And when I saw the numbers, the Nielsen numbers that we were getting, I was so excited that we were still
Yeah.
at like that 1.9, 1.8, 1.9 million,
Oh, wow.
which was great for cable.
Yeah.
And so it's it was and the people love Jerry, and they didn't understand. Again, they didn't explain why he didn't come back. So it's kind of like easy to be mad at me, but at the same time, I was just really lucky to be part of it.
I know it was unfortunate that you're kind of like the face of it right at that. You're just kind of like, oh, you're like, I'm just here trying to make it TV for you guys.
Well, it's his fault the show's gone.
I know, like if you kicked him out of the show.
I know. Oh, that's so funny.
I'm going to blame
How dare you.
Farscape again. I'm going to write an angry letter to the Farscape people.
I think
funny.
I think we just keep like, let's just do that on like socials, like push that it was Farscape's.
It was all Farscape's
I
fault.
know.
Well, Barry Diller, I believe it was, who was the president of then Sci-Fi, took over Sci-Fi. He gave the $48 million budget to Spielberg, who did Farscape. And that was it. That was like their entire budget. That was
that's tapped out.
Just pushed it all
and they
over to
pushed
him.
the hell out of that and all that. And I don't know. I just Sliders was so dialed in at that point. So
come on, let me tell you, I watched Sliders. I didn't watch Farscape, so there you go.
I didn't either. It could have been great. I didn't see it.
Going into that situation, you must have had an incredible amount of weight on your shoulders, and I think you handled it incredibly well and did a great job for the season you were on.
Oh, again, it's like you're getting to do sci-fi, getting to do something that will outlive all of us. Honestly, it should. And still being an advocate for it. I think they should do it again. I think Netflix should pick it up. Not saying that I wouldn't like to be mixing a drink in there or something like that, but they should refresh the whole thing and make it super exciting, and then do some fun cameos. So like the old, all of us,
everybody can like take a little. I think you had a question about reboots, right?
Oh yeah. Well, they're always talking about possibly the show coming back. If the show ever came back, would you want to be a part of it?
I would love to be a part in any way. And it could be at the Chandler Hotel making a drink or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's reoccurring characters. You could be a reoccurring bartender.
I know.
Yeah, it could be any
different disguise every time.
I just, I do a lot of TV now, but I would love to be, in any way to, help the show, get traction, viewers, any of it, to be a part of it in any which way. You know, again, there was just so much talent on the show that they had, and not just in front of the camera, behind the camera was exceptional. So, you know, it's exciting to think about and see what it could be, especially nowadays where, you know, your green screens, your special effects are a little bit better than we were dealing with back then.
I mean, they definitely had some dated like special effects, but
the early seasons had some dated effects.
But they had some decent shots.
Yeah, for the time.
Yeah,
for the time, it was pretty groundbreaking for all the effects that was being used.
Yeah, definitely. Like the portal always looked. Always looked good. You know,
I think you're right. I absolutely think you're right.
Oh, I had a question about the portal. How do you guys just like jump off of like a trampoline or something when you guys are jumping in?
Yes. So we jumped off trampolines, and sometimes we had to jump off high or wherever to match. I hate heights.
Oh no.
Clavant and Kari, they didn't at all. They would do backflips. They would flip because you're attached to a big cord, you know, a big rope. And then you're like jumping off a trampoline, spinning into this and all that. And I was such a chicken shit. I mean, I did it.
I was just watching.
Right? Like, we need you to do it again. And like, yeah. And Clavant's like, yeah, do the flip this time. I'm not doing a flip.
I was just watching the episode, and I said, "Did Kari just somersault into the portal? Did I see that right?" And sure enough, I went back. I'm like, "Oh yeah, she did."
So true, she did. And Tembi started, and so they were so good. They were so good.
You're just like stepping into it. Everybody else is doing all these.
I would like do the little kitty bounce there. I'm like, you know,
we can't have the portal 3 inches off the ground every time, Rob.
I know. Like spirit fingers, you know.
Oh, I think we're kind of like into we don't want to take up too much of
we don't want to take up too much of your time, but thank you again for coming on.
But
I love your stuff. I love what you're doing. I really want Sliders to come back.
I
think
that would be great.
The fans are still all over the world. People will still know me and still like stop me, not for rescue and stuff, which I been doing forever. But about Sliders. And now it's funny because they are, doctors, lawyers, scientists and stuff like that.
It would like really
still want to
fan
talk
their
about
love. Of science in itself. Yeah.
So fun. It's so fun. It's got such global potential that is just not even tapped into at all yet.
I know that's true. Now, if you could go into a different, because you're going into all these different realities in the show. If you could go into a different reality, what would it be then?
Different reality? How so?
Yeah, like if you jumped into a different dimension, or were there any dimensions like in your season that you felt like, oh, if I could jump into this, I would. Like, this is where I would live.
I don't know about any that I would live at, because it was really kind of tumultuous for the most part.
Yeah, especially with the Meg's like following you around everywhere.
I know. It's such a great question. I still think one of my favorite episodes was New Gods for Old. I mean, it just was so written with the nanotechnology and all of that.
Yeah.
There was so much good stuff there that and I feel like, boy, if they had some more writers to really develop it, there could be insane episodes still out there, bringing on, I would guess, maybe an entirely new cast and just, really take it to a level it's never seen.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's and there's true. A movie in there somewhere. So
I know.
I know. I mean, that's definitely, there's how many, Mission Impossibles out there. I feel like Sliders could have
Sliders movie. Come on.
I know.
It's a waste of a good IP if you're not going to do anything
it's
with it.
True. It's so true.
Yeah, no, definitely. But did you have one last question you wanted to ask?
No, Matt, did you have anything else?
No, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
I'm like, hopefully maybe in the future when we get to your season, if you want to jump back on, do like a little rewatch of an episode, we would love that.
Yeah, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. And I would help promote it and make sure that we get to have people all over see it and stuff. And again, this is such a cool podcast. It's so awesome. And I'm really
thank
grateful
you.
to be here with you guys. I really am. And I just love sliders. I mean, it's so cool. It's still to this day so cool.
It is. I mean, rewatching it, I know it's still entertaining.
holds
It's
up
still
really good,
funny.
like, all
It's
the
still,
stories and
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it
It
aged
is,
well.
It did.
Yeah.
And that's the funny part. So many sci-fi things don't, and this one really does. It's
True. Yeah. Some things you see sci-fi, like older sci-fi, they definitely feel dated, and this one doesn't feel dated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's true.
Everyone go out and get Rob's books and go buy alcohol.
I know.
Yeah.
Let us know in that book.
Cocktails,
I know. Get those whips. They're really good. They're
Watch
really
Bar
tasty.
Rescue.
So I will give you a holler when I think right now they're set to be released May 5th, but as we get closer, I'll know. So
Oh, yeah,
sounds
I'll be in
Absolutely.
there. I'll be in
Yeah.
All
there.
right. Thank
I
you
gotta
so
go make a
much.
gin and tonic now.
I know.
I know. I'm like, we gotta finish these slider drinks. They're so good. I know.
That's so cool.
But thank you so much. Yeah, this
Y'all
is really
are amazing, and
thank
long
you.
live sliders.
Oh, you're
baby.
amazing.
Oh.
All right.
Have a great night, Rob.
Have a good
All right,
night, man.
good night, y'all.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Oh, he was fun.
Yeah, that was
I
good.
know.
That's
Oh,
good
he's so
conversation.
nice.
Yeah. Well, Matt, thank you also for.
Yeah, no problem. That
Jumping
was amazing to talk to him.
Yeah, he had some really good stories.
Yeah. I got to go screw up a gin and tonic.
Okay, let me know
I
how it
watched the
goes.
video a
I
few
know.
times of him doing it. I'm like, wait, did
I know,
did
I'm
he
like-
muddle that lemon or did he squeeze it?
I'm sure if he would have made these drinks, they would have been like even better.
Oh, I know, right?
Somehow I'm gonna catch my house on fire. I don't know
I
how, but it's
know.
gonna happen. My cats are gonna run out.
Then we'll do that exclusive interview with your cat. Then if that happens,
Yeah,
He
she's
burned
like,
the house down.
I have no place
We're
to
like,
sleep.
I'm like, where do you think he went wrong on that recipe?
I'm definitely
She's
throwing
like, I
up
don't
on
know.
all your stuff.
So I don't know why the blowtorch came out, but
Yeah, that was fantastic. He's such a fun guy.
oh,
Yeah, it'd be
I know.
awesome to get him back on again once we get to his season.
I know. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
All
he was
right.
really nice. That
All
was
right,
really
man.
nice of
Thank
him.
you for joining us. Until next time. What are you gonna join us with? Was it season 3? Was it Rules of the Game?
I think so.
Episode?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
All
I
right.
think so.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I will see
Yeah.
you tomorrow.
Thank you. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, it's so exciting.
All
right,
right,
we-
everybody.
You still have
So
Saturday's episode, right?
yeah, so we will have another episode on Saturday. We'll be doing the last episode, the one written by Jerry O'Connell,
Oh, yeah, the
Narcotica.
comic.
So I'll try to have it set up so that you guys can also kind of like see like the comic as we go along as we talk about it. So we'll figure it out, but you guys will also be able to see what we're talking about. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank Rob again. Also, thank you
I
so much
know.
for coming on here and doing this. And
Like,
everybody
and
else
putting
who,
up with me being super awkward.
actually you kind of took the reins there for a second. I was like, okay.
I'm like my chest is like tight right now. I'm so nervous.
No, yeah, it was good though. No, you did good. You
You
kinda
know what?
took
Though?
over.
He's got
That's good.
I'm sure he's so used to like taking the reins, and I mean, you could tell like whenever you see him like in the Kelly Clarkson show or like
Yeah, when he's doing like his
yeah,
presentations
like
and
he
stuff like that.
knows. He's so talented. I know.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he's used to like dealing with a lot of people and stuff like that. So I'm sure like this is easy for him.
I know. Oh, he's so nice though. That was so
But-
nice of him.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming on for this special episode, and we'll be back on Saturday night. I'm not sure what time yet, but I would say 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, something
Maybe
like that.
around
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
around there. I'll keep everybody updated, and I'll post it up on our socials. All right. Thank you, everybody. And until next time, we'll see you guys in the next world.
In the next world. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Sliding Through Dimensions for updates and extra content. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on new episodes dropping every other week. Until next time, see you in another dimension.